Hi, I'm Mark Beck.
And I'm Stephanie Thompson.
And I'm Megan Salois. We're here with Remax Glacier Country, coming to you from Sunset Plaza here in Kalispell, Montana.
And this is Selling Montana, a podcast about business, entrepreneurship, and real estate in Montana. And we are very blessed with an amazing guest, Courtenay Sprunger, who is running for House District 7.
Nailed it.
I got it.
There was a little question earlier.
The number of completion. All right.
The number of completion.
So, Courtenay, you are not just a candidate, but you're also a business owner, correct?
That's true. Yep. I have been a business owner since 2008 when I founded my company.
Since we're kind of a business podcast, tell us a little bit about your business first.
All right. So I own a communications firm. We work across Montana, Idaho, and Washington, and we specialize in communications outreach for major infrastructure projects. A lot of our clients are government agencies that maybe need a little support and help with getting out in the community, actually connecting, making sure the public is informed and being accountable to getting that input and feedback. So we come alongside those projects, and then we also work with different groups like Montana Logging Association, Montana Contractors, some of those groups that are looking to connect in the community.
That's a very niche
awesome.
business.
Yeah,
It's very niche.
very much.
Yeah,
niche.
It is. Just public relations in Montana is unusual.
Yeah, I could
Very
see
true.
that. Yep. It's a small public together.
That's
So
true.
That's awesome.
That's very cool. So since 2008, what have you, tell us about some changes in your business. Did you obviously originated it in Montana?
Actually, so I'm from Montana. I grew up here in Kalispell. My family's been here for 5 generations.
Oh, wow.
But I did finish my schooling down in California by a surprising list of events that worked out. And I went from studying to be a PE teacher to transferring to a public relations major.
Wow.
Also, I got down there and realized it was going to take me like another 4 years to complete school, and I didn't think I wanted to be in that much debt. So
Yeah.
so I made the switch, and I just always believed I was going to start and bring a company back to Montana called Big Sky Public Relations. Just not the most creative branding, but definitely regionally associated.
Yeah.
And I ended up actually founding the company when I was doing subcontracting work, and I lived in Arizona, and then I brought the company back home as soon as possible.
Cool.
Very cool.
I don't know. Having a little college debt might not have been that bad of an idea right now because you could.
Are you really going to open that door, Mark?
I won't.
All the business owners are not rejoicing.
I'm not rejoicing. I paid mine off, and I'm
Paid mine off.
I just did last year. Like, come on.
should have waited one more year.
Oh my gosh. Dang it.
Okay. So we'll close that door. It was there. I had to talk about it.
It was kind of a Pandora's box, if you will.
Just a little bit.
Right. Yeah. So let's go back to talking about me. No,
Yep. Let's go back to you.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm a politician. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? No. So, I got the company back here as quickly as possible. Founded it in 2008. I was independently subcontracting primarily. I was working for other PR firms, people I'd interned for in college, which is really a testament to the idea that we should always maintain those relationships that we've had, right?
Yeah.
And you keep those bridges, you do everything that you can to maintain relationship. And that was foundational really for me in 2013 when I decided I was going to go out full time working in PR. Really, a lot of that baseline work came to me through subcontracts out of California and relationships that I still had doing economic development outreach down there. So, gosh, I can't speak enough to keeping your relationships in place, and you really never know when those are going to come back around.
Yeah, I feel like we all know that. I've sold houses to people I went to high school with, college with.
Yeah.
Being rooted in, especially in a small community like that, makes a huge difference in your life. And, maintaining that reputation is a big deal.
Well, again, as a PR professional, I couldn't agree more. Reputation,
That's what I'm all
please.
So is it hopefully I never need to hire you, or maybe I should hire you?
I don't know. I mean, based on how the conversation is going, I think we should talk after.
Oh,
I think for his sake,
Maybe
Oh,
you
good,
can
good.
Tinder profile.
Let's not talk about my Tinder.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, this is going sideways quick. Back to Courtenay.
Public relations.
Public relations. So what inspired you to get involved in politics, and how long has this journey been going for you?
I think that it's really more about being involved in leadership for me than it is about an application of politics necessarily.
Well put.
Politics is the opportunity to lead and create guidance for the state, for my friends and neighbors, and to support and advocate for them on an ongoing basis. So I've had the opportunity to be a part of leadership in really most of the respective roles that I've been in professionally, and then in different things around in the community, right? So my most recent role was as the chair of the Chamber of Commerce. And I think you start to look and say, hey, this was a really amazing to have this impact, to have an opportunity to work on things like the childcare study, to be looking at workforce housing, to be trying to identify opportunities to bring our employers together with maybe some untapped employment employees in the market. So all those different kinds of things. And you think, gosh, I think the next step, I feel prepared at this point to be able to serve and be effective at the legislative level. And the other piece of it was, we have a lot of change on the horizon. You folks are in the real estate market. You know that we've had a lot of incoming traffic, and that can create its own opportunities and challenges for our community. But I felt like somebody who had strong decades and really generations of roots in this community need to be a part of shaping its future.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah, very well stated. The shaping the future of Kalispell. There's this continual desire that, well, if we could just stop it from growing now, right? Like, let's stop it from growing. But realistically, is that going to happen?
No.
As we're seeing, no.
No. We've been discovered. It's not going to stop now.
Yeah. So it's incumbent on us, right, to shape how it's going to grow. And it's very important that we focus on that, and that we because we need to preserve farmland. True, we need to keep the environment of Montana what it is, but you need workforce housing, and what does that look like, right?
Right, and that's such a, you guys asked, can we stop growth? And as somebody who's grown up here and who struggles with change probably just as much as the next person, I know there are exciting opportunities, and gosh, I hate seeing the farmland
So
change,
true.
right? There's some right down the road from me, and I was feeling very resentful about it the other day, and then I realized, hey, you know what? I enjoyed that farmland. I rode my horses on it for free for years, and I just need to celebrate that time and understand that I can be a part of maybe working on our infrastructure so we can still get where we need to go safely and efficiently, right? I can be a part of workforce housing so that my nieces and nephews have an opportunity to build a future here also.
And to stay here.
To stay here,
and live,
right.
live and work here. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's something I'm really passionate about, right? I think, I joked with somebody the other day, I said, do I want to build a border wall around the Flathead County? Some days. And that's not about any one particular person being here. I think it's just more about feeling like, hey, it's challenging when you're driving down Idaho and you're backed up 3 cycles on the light. That's just not something that we're used to. And so I think, like I said, working together hand in glove with our city and county and with our DOT representatives to try to improve our infrastructure. I think that's something that we can do that's practical. And the other thing that I just want to emphasize as somebody who's lived here my whole life is don't lose your neighborliness. Like, don't lose the values and make this place make this place special, right? We can get frustrated with change or people coming in, or maybe not the availability of housing, but what makes this place special is how we treat one another.
Yeah, that's a really good point, not losing that.
Yeah.
And people are getting frustrated and then they're mean to anybody new or, an outsider. So that's a good point.
Or the realtors that are bringing the people in.
Yeah, it's our fault.
But it's also, we've said in the past in some of our podcasts that people get frustrated and go to social media or the 411 or whatever about everybody moving here. But instead of complaining, we should all be getting involved about shaping the future of the growth and everything.
That's right. And educated on growth policy, because I think, or maybe we have more community conversation around where do we want to have growth happen? And the great news is I think there's more of that planning than we really realize, but all of us live busy lives and we don't get involved in the detailed conversations around the community planning. But I can tell you that there's usually a really good reason for what's happening, even if you don't agree with it. And so be involved, participate in the conversations. There are avenues to do that. And it takes some time. And the reality is if we collectively are going to shoot down every subdivision that folks try to bring together to us.
We're not going to have houses.
And I get it, right? You know, it's hard when it's right next to you,
It
right?
is.
If
it's far from you, you're like, okay, whatever. But then if it's like right next to your grandparents' house that they've had for 50 years, it's like, well, no, wait, stop.
Or where you rode your horse.
Not in my backyard.
Yeah.
Is the slogan, right?
Yeah. we lovingly call it NIMBY in
NIMBY.
my work,
Yep.
right?
NIMBY.
And which is in the public involvement, that's a specialized kind of work that we do. That's always a challenge for folks, right? We're maybe coming in and we're changing a roadway, and that might change the landscape around somebody, or it might create more traffic, or it's going to create some kind of an impact. And that's really about getting to a solution, maybe not that we all love, but we can all live with in order to move forward in a direction that's safer, or a direction that helps people get somewhere efficiently, or that provides fire services, or whatever it might be. So I think we need to start looking at that collectively as a community. I think our employers, if they need housing, we really need them to be at the table having the conversations when there are projects up for consideration. I'd really encourage folks to be a part of the conversation. And I'd also encourage our friends that are in real estate and in development to start talking to the neighborhoods sooner, earlier, more transparently, right? Because I think if I'm a person and it's my neighborhood and all of a sudden a project is up, there's a lot of fear around that. And that's understandable.
Very understandable. Yeah. The funny thing is, a lot of these subdivisions that are getting shot down, they're getting shot down over traffic, right? Traffic concerns. And what I don't grasp is that it seems as if people think that, a subdivision's going in, there's going to be 250 houses there, like that. Like, these come in phases and there's stages, and there's ways to, like you said, we need to change infrastructure. We probably need a lot more stop lights. I know we need stop signs in downtown Kalispell still. There's still streets that don't have stop signs. Like, if you're going to solve the traffic problems, start there. And I hate to pick on one item, but if you've ever driven down 93 when there's a baseball game,
Oh gosh,
there's no stoplight there. I mean, that project was no issue, right? But housing an issue, and I love the baseball field. I love going to it, but it's like there again, there's the foresight. It's like, okay, that traffic's okay, but new housing traffic, that's bad, right?
Which is interesting, right? I mean, because I think a lot of folks can get around a recreation thing that we can all enjoy, and maybe that's a really good example of. What I can tell you about that one is there are certain... You're going to get me way nerded out now, right? But there are certain, they basically are requirements before you can even put a light on a main road because of the impact of traffic. Because candidly, when you have a traffic light, you often you'd be surprised, you get more crashes.
Yeah.
Because,
sure.
right,
That
if
makes
people
sense.
are turning left and it's not protected, it sounds wild to say this, but they are more cautious about the turn that they're making. Oftentimes, if you have a light or controlled intersection, people sort of like, green light, time to go.
Yeah.
And there's somebody else coming out, let's be honest, texting and driving, right? Not paying attention, and you can get fatal crashes at intersections. So they have to actually meet a number of merits. That said, you're right. Like the strategic traffic conversation is so important. And really, the more information we have, I think the better the conversations become. I mean, for me, I believe there's probably going to be a conversation around a frontage road on 93. And I don't know, there's a lot of land acquisition around that. Right. There's a lot of pieces. But if we have a frontage road, there's some considerations, because otherwise you could have Hutton Ranch all the way to Whitefish.
Sure.
And I don't know if I want that either.
No, we don't. No, we don't want that.
Hutton Ranch.
I mean, there's stoplights every 50 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we want to be able to get to Whitefish efficiently and at 70 miles an hour, or 65. Sorry.
Or 80.
Right.
Or 80. Yeah, more like 80 for me.
Montana Highway Patrol. There's your cue. Yeah. What do you drive, Mark?
Black Lexus. Yeah, here he comes.
He's driving us to Whitefish the other day. We're like,
oh my
Mark,
gosh.
you have to remember you're driving two mothers in
moms,
the car
like-
that would like to get
I'm mobbing.
Safely and efficiently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lead with safely.
As I'm showing him, like, my car's like semi-autonomous, like, so it keeps itself in the lanes and everything. It wasn't doing a great job at it. But I'm like, yeah, no. I'm like, it's like drifting in the lane and it's kind of driving itself back, but not really. And I'm like, oh crap.
I want to make a pitch for the CRV, which I used to have, which also had those features. It doesn't have to be a Lexus to have the safety features, but don't depend on them. I'm really glad.
Yeah,
This is kind of feeling like a PSA for.
He was showing us his lane assist, and his car is still like going like this.
And we're right next
he's
to a
like off the
semi.
wheel.
into the rumble strips. This
Yes.
probably saved your life.
It's not as good as Tesla's technology. Okay, I'll give it that.
Did you
was
guys,
operator error.
did you guys see the image that's circulating right now? And God bless them with the Tesla that has the generator on the back.
Yes.
No, I haven't
With the
seen
gas generator.
The gas generator on the back.
It's powering, charging a Tesla with a gas generator.
Which makes sense right now with the way
Yeah.
things are set up if you're trying
Yeah.
to go cross country. But it was,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows where they were from.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was a
I
funny photo.
Yeah.
I fully intend on buying a Tesla eventually when the Lexus is tired, and I'm gonna have a sticker. I support Montana coal. Like,
Okay.
I love it. You're edgy.
I like to just get in there a little bit.
It's a little more than
I
edgy.
support our coal.
Need some public
coal
relations
miners.
help.
Yeah. Let's get some PR in here. Well, actually, I was just reading in the paper that there's some exchange of stocks with our coal strip group down there, and they're putting some wind farms in.
They're putting some
too,
wind
so-
farms in. Yep,
Yeah, so it'll be
Okay.
interesting to see. Hopefully, that
Yeah.
creates some jobs down there too. in
that'd be
addition.
cool. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, back to your race. Tell us when who's in your district first, and when do they need to be aware to come to vote for you?
Now, do you want a list of every person in the district? I can start right now.
Every person.
Every person. I'm calling out every voter.
It's a small district, or
It's only 10,000, so it should be fine.
Okay.
Should be
It
easy.
should be easy. We'll be here for the next few days. So essentially, I'm looking to represent the historic downtown district of Kalispell, and it's really the economic seat of the Flathead County. Practically speaking, the borders are the northeast and north, or the east north. That's bad. East north and west north neighborhoods of downtown Kalispell,
okay.
and then your historic east and west districts of downtown Kalispell. And really, your boundary is Meridian on the west, and then Woodland on the east, and then it kind of jives down and grabs some folks in the Willow Glen area, and it stops at 14th.
Okay.
Street. Okay. Yeah, down there on the end. So yep, just kind of right near the classic car dealership.
Yes.
Corner shop.
Corner
Those guys
shop.
are awesome. I love that
Yep.
place.
Yep.
He works on my GTO that I have.
That's
I have
my
an old
uncle.
GTO. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dan is? Yeah, he's fantastic.
Plug for Dan for the corner shop there.
Yeah, like for Dan. Yeah. So I just, I got to tell you, the district is really special. It's unusual in that it's very condensed. So you can actually walk and knock and talk to people very easily.
Yeah.
And I've had the opportunity to knock on almost every door in that district.
That's
Wow.
impressive.
Right.
For you.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
That's
been a lot of
awesome.
fun. I was out knocking last February, no exaggeration, in snow pants.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
You're
How
committed.
many of your competitors do that? Door knock.
I'm not going to say.
I don't think very many.
I don't know.
I don't think very
I'll have
many.
to pull them.
Yeah. That's very impressive. I'm a big fan of door knocking. We do.
Oh, right.
I've done a lot of door knocking for real estate. I also grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. So.
Oh, well, hey, so you are conditioned.
Hey, if you want me to come door knock with you, I'm pretty good at it.
I do want you to. And we had I had a friend who was had grown up Baptist, and they did a lot of door knocking growing up as well. And he worked at our company, and so we do canvassing for, and anytime you go out and say, hey, we're going to be changing the roadway, people are like very excited, but they're always suspicious about who you are when you go to knock on the door in the first place. And we've all
Especially
been
nowadays.
conditioned for door knocking.
Don't wear a suit and tie.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't ever. Yeah, that's
Wear
scares them
snow
right off.
immediately. Like,
Wear snow pants. Or like, what are you doing out here in the winter, right? You must want this job really bad.
yeah.
Is it for the money? I'm like, well, it's like $11.80 an hour. So
Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
Probably
So
not.
no.
Isn't it-
Not so
Yeah.
much.
Isn't that amazing that that's and you get a per diem and that's it? Like 11 something an hour and a per diem when you go into session.
I think hopefully it ensures that the people that are showing up are doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and side note, my brother's a realtor also, and he started his career off here door knocking.
Good for him.
I'm just going to shout out Justin Burt.
Oh,
just saying.
Justin Burt is your brother?
He's my older brother.
Cool.
Didn't he just move to
Geyser, Montana?
Geyser. He's
Oh
so
my
nice.
gosh.
I've worked with him. He's great.
Yes. So when I talk about my
that's
nieces
awesome.
and nephews,
It's
usually,
okay.
they have 8 kids. They're
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, they've homeschooled them, and they're just very
And they
engaged.
took them all the
wonderful parents.
Geyser away from you.
I know.
Yeah.
They come back and see me like every other week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
fun.
cool.
Okay. So, that was my other question. When is your election?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So November 8th.
November 8th.
But you're going to
Okay.
start seeing ballots come out in mid-October. So for anybody who's got an absentee ballot, please keep your eye out for those in the mail.
Okay. Mid-October, look for your absentee.
Courtenay Sprunger for House District 7.
Woo!
How many times can we say that on the podcast without being obnoxious?
We'll see. We can fit it in. We got a couple more
You have
minutes.
cool names. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind. Yeah. Well, try spelling it.
Oh.
Right? All the poor people are like,
my
oh,
gosh.
no.
Well, I've seen it on the side of your truck. You and I go
Yeah.
get mail at the P.O. box at the same time. I don't know if you remember. But
I'll
you-
be looking for you
yeah,
now.
totally.
Yep. You've got the most the confusing way of Courtenay. I'm like, it's got all of the
Courtenay.
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 Yeah.
Right,
I
but
was
we
like,
just
wow.
go by Courtenay because Courtenay is a little rich for my blood.
Oh,
I do want to say that's the original French spelling of the name, which was originally a
Really?
surname. Right. So I have some backing here.
Interesting.
Oh, that's
Okay.
awesome.
I guess I didn't know it
There's
was a
some
French name.
legitimacy to the oddness of the spelling of my name. And my mom chose that spelling when I was born because she was worried that I might be confused with a boy. So she's like, if we spell it this way, then no one will wonder. I was like, well,
I don't think
You
I've
know,
ever heard
I-
that name for
yeah.
a boy.
Yeah.
but-
I've never heard
I've
Courtney
yeah,
is a man.
it was pretty popular, especially people that are like
interesting.
ages 35 to 40.
I was going to say, I knew several gentlemen named Courtney.
Yep, I knew a couple Courtneys in my grade, and I'm going to be 35. So,
There we go.
I did not know that.
yep.
Neither.
It's okay, Mom.
Yeah.
You were right.
She got it right. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to put out there? Anything else that you'd like to talk about for your race and why people should vote for you?
You know, you just gave me an open microphone. How much time do we have? I'm just kidding. You know, I think that the reason that it makes sense to vote for me, one is because I know the community. I'm not just showing up because there's an election, right? I've been involved here for a long time, and I think that track record would demonstrate that I'm going to show up and truly be an advocate 365 days a year, right? I'm not just going down to punch buttons. I think that's important. The second piece is that I'm really devoted and focused on practical issues that I'm hearing at the doors and that I'm seeing in my respective work and volunteer efforts. So I'm looking to work on the practical infrastructure. We've already talked about that. You can tell I'm passionate.
Yeah.
Education, and particularly building out opportunities in the trades, manufacturing, technology, the kind of jobs that are going to afford our kiddos a chance to come and work with you to buy a house at some point, hopefully.
Yes. Yep.
Certainly the great high-paying jobs that we have here in the area. I'm really interested in housing as well, right? And how can we put some practical solutions into the market? How can we empower our communities to work with those people who are willing to do the building for us? And how can the state government be part of supporting that? And then last is community safety. And I think we've all practically, if you've been here for very long, and I grew up here, you know that we're really challenged with some community safety issues right now. I'm seeing a huge amount of theft. We have a lot of mental health issues.
Yes.
Our law enforcement seem really stretched to me from what I can see. And so I'm really interested in finding ways that we can support them at the state level.
Yeah, it's definitely a different Kalispell when you see the amount of emergency services vehicles the police flying around town. And I mean, we recently had a robbery a bank robbery. I don't think
They didn't never catch that
More
person,
than
I don't
one.
think, yeah.
There've been a few in the last
more than
year.
Yeah.
in the last year. Okay, and that's just not a thing that we really had before.
No, even 20 years ago.
I would say 5, right? I mean,
Right.
there was
Yeah.
some.
I feel
There's
like-
always been
yeah.
some drug culture that we probably just
Yes.
happily
that's
were
true.
oblivious to because our
Yeah.
law enforcement has done a great job of
Yeah.
keeping this a safe community. And I would advocate, this is still a safe community.
Oh,
This
it is. Yeah.
And I think that's
oh,
why it's so
absolutely.
important that we do, we get really intentional right now while we still have the time to keep it
Yeah.
great,
And
right?
not-
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can get behind that. Well, Thank you so much. This has
Thank
been
you.
very enlightening. Yeah,
It's been
glad
wonderful.
we
Yeah.
could get to know you a little more and just learn all about that. So
Thanks for having me. And if there's anything that I can do, one thing I would say is if folks want to get in touch with me, I have a phone number. They're welcome to call 406-407-1151. If they just want to have a chat, right, or ask any further questions, I'd be happy to talk.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's great. Yes. Thank you very much for watching. If you would please hit that subscribe button, share this video, give us a like. And then this video is sponsored by Wanderlust Montana Property Management Services.